So if you are using NAT, then you can keep your, let's say, this virtual server in a different IP range, right? And
Okay.
usually when using this NAT, it's actually the local side is actually hidden to the outside, right? Like if you take your router, so your local IP 192.168, they will not be seen to the internet, right? So you can see the internet, but the internet can't see you, right? Now, if
Okay.
you have a public IP, which is a IP range of the WAN side, right? So actually, anyone can directly find you or can see you, right? Right? So you will be having a local IP. Usually, I'm talking about the router connection, right? So you will have a local IP 192.168. Then on the other side of your router, it will be a most probably a public IP, right? With the service provider. So, so the public. So when you have, if you have a public IP, so then actually everyone can see you, right? But when you have a local IP, then people in the internet cannot see you, right? That is the basic concept of NAT. So NAT advantage is you can stay hidden, right? When you are the local network. So it will not be seen to the outside. Only your router can be seen to the outside. Is that clear what I explained?
Okay, sir. Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
So yeah, that is basically the differences between NAT and bridged adapter, right? So if you want to, let's say, keep your servers in a private way and in a different IP range, right? So you don't want to those to be visible to anyone who is using your home network, right? Then you can use the NAT option. So let's say you have one, two, or three servers, virtual servers running, right? Let's say you have a server machine, no, good kind of machine with a lot of RAM,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you are running two or three virtual servers, then if you are using NAT option, then people who are using the your home network will not be able to see those your servers, right? Because
Okay,
it
sir.
is hidden behind a NAT. So if you use bridge option, then since they will have your virtual machines will have the same IP range, they will be visible to anyone using your home network.
Okay.
So those are the basic differences between. I think the default option, if you don't select anything, is NAT, right?
Yes, sir.
That is because it is very easy. So it will just create a NAT and it will create an IP range, and there has to be routing rules, but you don't have to do anything. The virtual, I think VirtualBox automatically does all the things. So when you have a NAT, actually you have to have some routing rules, right? Otherwise, routing cannot happen between the two networks. That is 10.net range and 192 range, right? There has to be routing rules. Otherwise, cannot communicate, right?
Okay, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Right. So any other questions you want to ask?
Mm, also, I think.
So you were able to connect to the network after installation, right?
Yes, sir.
So you were able to go to the internet and things like that.
Yes. It's no problem.
Okay.
මේ සර් දැන් අපි මේක මේ මැෂින් එක අපි ඉන්ස්ටෝල් කරන්නේ දැන් අපි LAN එකක් ගත්තොත් එහෙම LAN එකක තියෙන සර්වර් මැෂින් එකකනේ. එතකොට සර් දැන්
Oh.
ඒ වගේ සර්වර් මැෂින් එකක් ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඒවල සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ performance කොහොමද යන්නේ? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ RAMs ඊට පස්සේ processors එහෙම ඒවල ගොඩක් ස්පීඩ් වෙන්න ඕනද සාමාන්‍යයෙන්? එහෙම නැත්නම් අර
Oh,
අපි
server hardware, basically server hardware තමයි use කරන්නේ. So basically Xeon අහලා තියෙනවා ඉතින් Xeon processors තමයි servers වල use වෙන්නේ. They are basically made for 24/7 365 usage, right? ඒ කියන්නේ ඒවා stress කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? When you know this electronic components, they are working continuously, right? So heat is there, and so they become stressed, right? So they should be compatible, or they should support that kind of stress. Otherwise, they will fail, right? If the normal computer is not built to work as a server, but normal computer එකත් on කරලා තියන්න පුළුවන් දිගටම, no issue. But reliability wise, server hardware is built for that purpose, right? So ඒක ඕනම දෙයක් ගත්තොත් ඒ වගේ තමයි තියෙන්නේ. If you take you know uh, for CCTV, DVR or something, or NAS storage, there is specific hard disk built for that purpose, right? CCTV වලට වෙනම තියෙනවා NAS ඒ purpose එකට වෙනම hard disk තියෙනවා. Then yeah, for servers also there are separate hard disk types which are available. So DVR, NVR ඒවට වෙනම තියෙනවා. Then NAS storage වලට වෙනම තියෙනවා. So like that. Then enterprise ඒ වගේ range එකේ hard disk තියෙනවා. So those are expensive. They have some kind of speed and performance, and also they are built to run, I mean, be powered on for a long time, right? So ඒ වගේ තමයි තියෙන්නේ.
Okay, sir.
So usually RAM, uh, yeah, RAM servers usually should be, I think, more than 16 GB. Now I think the new bigger servers, they have at least 64 GB, the minimum amount, right?
Yes.
So it will be more than that, not less, right? Now I know that there are gaming computers which have at least 32, right? Minimum they come with 32. The good ones, right? So because they are built for gaming. So sometimes those computers are used for research or that kind of purpose also, and graphic cards like that. So servers, they will like have minimum 32 or 64 and upwards, right? Minimum they will have 2 CPUs, but now I think these days usually 4 CPUs are there, right? If you take a good server, a smaller size, if you're going for a smaller size server, actually then because of the size restriction, things will be a bit minimal, right? Like maybe the number of CPUs will be 2. Then yeah, maybe the RAM, because you don't have that much space to install RAM, so then maybe those might be limited. So there's a server size also, right? They
Okay,
go
sir.
in 1U, 2U, 4U, like that. So 1U is the smallest, right? I think I have told you about the
Yeah.
sizes, right? So that is basically um, yeah. So and servers, I have told you, you can when powered on, you can change some things, right? Like power
Yes.
supply, usually there are dual power supply. You can, if one goes out, you can online you can remove. So those are the things in the servers basically, because servers are meant to be powered on all the time, right? So they have redundancy, and I think now they have also possibility to remove the processor online. I think it was not there. This feature I haven't heard. Now recently I saw that some servers, you can actually remove the processor when it's online. Usually you have to turn off the server to do things like that, right?
Yes.
Remove RAM card, or because electrical those problems. Right. So that is basically if you want to server, then you have to select according to the requirement, because cost you have to consider, right? So requirement and cost. Then you have to have AC also, right? Otherwise, because of the heat, then eventually the server hardware might fail. So it has to be in a cool environment for them to work continuously. Okay.
Okay, sir. Right,
Right.
thank you.
Then, yeah, thank you for the presentation.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anyone else want to do the next presentation?
I can.
Okay. Okay, give me a minute. Right. Who is this?
Number two, sir.
Okay, Vikash. Right. Okay. Right. You can start your presentation.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
Let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Chamiki Vikash. I'm going to show you how to clean install Microsoft Windows Server 2012 R2. Windows Server 2012 R2 is the seventh version of the Windows Server operating system by Microsoft. Before I start the install, I will first have a quick look at the system requirement. In order to install Windows Server 2012, we will need a computer, 1.4 GHz 64-bit processor, 512 MB RAM, and 32 GB disk space. This is enough to install and run, but I would recommend 1 GB RAM or 2 GB RAM and 50 GB or 100 GB drive space. For this install, I will install Windows Server in a Oracle virtual machine. I will go to first step, the virtual machine. Now boot from the ISO. Now I press any key to boot from the ISO. If we do not press the key, the computer will boot from the existing operating system. But there are no installed previous operating system.
Right.
The loading screen, loading file stream is loading Windows from ISO into RAM.
Right.
The first screen of the setup will ask language, time, currency, keyboard that we want to use.
Right.
In this case, I will accept the default and click next.
Okay.
On the next screen, we need to select install now to start the installation.
Right.
We also have the option the repair computer if the system has problem boot in. Repair your computer option will give access to some tools that may be able to fix the problem. The next screen will show which edition of Windows Server. In this case, I will select the fourth option to install Windows Server 2000 R2 data center with the full graphical user interface, and I'll click next.
Okay.
On the next screen, we need to tick the option I accept the license terms. The license is displayed uh, on this screen. If we want to read what we can now cannot do with Windows Server 2012 R2 data center. The next screen determines whether in place upgrade or clean install is going to be performed. In order to upgrade an existing operating system, we can use upgrade option.
Right.
Since no operation system exists on this computer as yet, I will select the custom option to perform a clean install of Windows Server. There is a custom install.
Right.
On the next screen, there are options to partition and format drive. If the drive not appear, we can select the load drive option.
Right.
In this case, I don't need to load any additional drive, and I click next. Setup will now copy and install to the hard drive. This should take 10 to 30 minutes to complete, but it will depend on the speed of our computer.
Right. The previous option, you can create separate partitions as well, right? Using the new option.
Okay, sir. Once setup has finished copying file, the system will reboot. This includes step like detecting hardware on system. The system may reboot a number of times. Once booted, we will need to enter an administrator password, and I will click finish. Okay, that is enough. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so what did you get any problems when you are installing in the virtual machine?
I installed Oracle virtual machine, but I haven't any problems installing.
Oh, you don't. Okay, you haven't got any problem. Right. So. Right. So, right. So, after you installed, did you check the network? Was it working in your Windows server?
No, sir. I'll not check.
Okay, you do it on the installation part, right? So, I think that step where you need to create a partition. So there, so if you, I think, click next here, then do you get some message saying it needs to create partition or something, or it just started to install?
We can create new partition.
Did you get a message? So if
Yes,
you,
yes, sir. Yes, yes.
without creating a partition, if you click next, I think you should get a message. I think it will say it will create some additional partitions or something, right?
Yes, ඒ කට්ටිය අර මේ automatically create කරගන්නවා කියලා කියනවා මේ additional versions.
හරි ඒක තමයි. Because the previous in the previous which Widasun showed me, there were two partitions. So actually, when you're installing Windows, any Windows version, there is a system partition which automatically creates. So you don't have to create. If you try to even create one partition here, then it will automatically create actually the two partitions with the system partition. So if you are going without the new option, then definitely I think you should get a message saying this setup will create additional partitions.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Um, yeah, I think, yeah, the presentation was okay. Any questions you want to ask?
No.
Okay, then thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, good morning everyone. I am Chamari Misha. Today I am going to discuss the how to install Windows Server 2012 in R2 version. So that is the installation path in virtual machine. There is a basic recommends. We have to use 1.2 gigahertz 64-bit processor, and usually Windows Server installation selected the 512 MB RAM and 332 GB hard and network adapter card. There is a basic thing. Firstly, we want to create a virtual machine in a virtual box. Then we can go to new option and create our virtual machine. If the virtual machine follow dialog box, we can we can type the proper name and machine we are it's always automatically selected, and when types and version we can choose, then we can next. So this is the virtual machine. Create a memory and hard disk, memory management and hard disk. Usually I have a 4 GB RAM, so I selected the recommend RAM space. So I selected the 512 GB, 512 MB. Then we want to create a hard disk. It's the following box show three things. But I'm choose create a virtual hard disk, and next this space this steps create a virtual hard and in correct way. So first we choose a hard disk type. I choose a VCC type. It's recommending. And next, storage and physical disk. Next step, I choose a dynamically one, and next. There is a hard space.
Can you explain what is dynamically allocated? Why did you select that?
Because dynamically allocated, and I choose dynamically one because I want to select hard space. Actually I haven't I haven't.
අමාරුණ සිංහලෙන් කියන්න කමන්නේ.
Then I select dynamically and I can choose as I want how to select hard space. So I selected 30 GB space because these are recommended 20 GB hard. 20 GB is enough, but I select 30 GB hard space.
What is the size of your hard disk?
30 GB.
No, not this. I mean your real hard disk. What is the size?
1 TB, sir.
1 TB. Okay, then you have a lot of space.
Then we now we are finishing our virtual machine system. That is the window.
So yeah, let me explain. This dynamically, what it means is it will not reserve that. So you have selected 30 GB here. That size will not be reserved if you are selecting this dynamic option, right? That means this the size of this virtual disk file, right? It is a file. That file will grow as you know fill the files. If you use the fixed size option and you use 30 GB, then the file virtual disk file which will be saved in your computer will be actually the size which is here, right? 30 GB. There will be a 30 GB file. So it will be like a 30 GB blank file with 30 GB. All the 30 GB is not filled, but it will reserve that 30 GB in your hard disk, that amount, right? If you are using dynamic, it will not reserve the amount. So the file size will grow when you put files to the hard disk. That is the difference, right?
Okay, sir. Now we are ready to install the Windows Server 2012 R2 version. That is the way installing path. Now this path we want to select our ISO file. We can add ISO file, this icon, and we can choose. We are select download ISO file and selected one in choose. Next step, how to installation. This is a basic thing on Windows installation and Windows Server installation. We can choose what is language we want to do. We want to work within. Basically, steps are recommended. We can use English United language, English United States, and keywords. Then we can next. That window is the installation now. It means we are ready to installation our Windows server software. So we can click install, and there is a repair your computer options. There is we want to clean installation, so I choose my installation now. There is 4 different packages. Actually I choose data center evaluation GIU version because Windows Server have 2 different basic things. Under the 2 things we have GIU and another
GUI.
Sorry,
GUI.
GUI and there is a data center editor. It have some features. Install an ultimate number of virtual instances of the OS and install as many virtual machines as you want. That's why select the data center edition with GUI, and standard edition we have as a as all the features of data center edition and the same processor license condition, but permits only 2 virtual instance. But choose data center editor installation that I want. That is
Data center, it should be edition, right? Not editor.
so it's edition. That is a license agreement. I install the Windows Server setup. We want to click I accept license term and go to next. There is a hard drive partition. I don't get the partitions, new partition. I selected the unlocated space and next.
Okay.
There is our Windows Server installation. There is a minimum 20 minutes, 30 minutes. There is installations.
The previous step, when you created the partition, you didn't create a partition, so I think you should get a message, right? When you click next here.
Yes, sir. It's automatically created one. And
Right. Yes.
choose is next. Installation processing. And after we are installation our Windows Server machine, first we show this way, and we want to sign in. We can use in the shortcut key Control Alt and Delete. We can see the this window. We want to create our administrator account. We can use a password and username always chosen default always default in here. We can prepare a password as we want. Then we are finishing our installation. After we are logging our administrator account, we can show this window. There is a configuration, location, server, and other things. That's enough, sir. Thank you.
Right. So this login screen, when you log in, what is the key combination you because you can't actually press Control or Delete in the virtual machine, right? So how did you do that?
Sorry, sir, I can't hear.
When you are login,
Yes.
It says press Control or Delete, but since this is a virtual machine, if you press Control or Delete, will that work?
Control Delete, sir.
Right. Yes. So yeah, the key combination will be different because this is a virtual machine, right? So that key combination you just said, it's there in the virtual box. So it will actually send the Control or Delete to the virtual machine, right? But you can't actually use the Control or Delete keys to directly to send to the virtual machine, right?
Okay.
Okay. So any problems? Anything? Any issues that you faced when you are installing this in your virtual box? Any problems which happened? Were there any problems when you installed this in the virtual box?
No, sir.
Okay. So do you have anything to ask? Any questions regarding this installation? Any problems you have? Any questions? No questions. Hello, can you hear me?
No, sir. Actually, I can't proper hearing because my speaker is not work properly.
Okay, okay. Right. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You can stop sharing the
Okay, sir.
screen. Right. Who wants to go next?
Sir, can I do?
Right. Right. Okay.
Uh, is it visible, sir?
Wait, still not. I see a started screen sharing, but I can't.
Wait a minute, sir. I shared
Okay,
VMware.
I can see it now. Yeah, now you stopped sharing.
Yes, sir. Is it visible my presentation?
Yeah, still it does not come. It says started. Okay, yeah, right. Now I can see. Okay, you can start.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Today I'm going to tell about my installation experience about Windows Server 2012 R2 installation. I'm AW Mufli Ahmad. This is my index number.
Right.
Okay, let's start. Okay, first we have to set suitable system to install the software. Basically, I took some screenshot in starting and about downloading.
Right. Okay.
Okay, Microsoft provide this Windows 2012 software. Okay,
Yeah.
here's some screenshot.
Right. Okay.
First I choose ISO file and I entered my details and start downloaded.
Okay.
Here my system is 64-bit. That's why I choose 64-bit,
Right.
and I downloaded. These figures are showing.
How much of RAM do you have in your?
4 GB RAM, sir.
Okay. 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 Continue.
Okay. First, we need to install Oracle VM Virtual Box Manager
Right.
software. Already I installed in my computer
Right.
for Surgical Insurance subject. Okay. First, click New. Then the dialog box is visible. Okay. Then I type the name in server 2012 R2. Type name. Then click Next.
The
Okay.
version of
Then
Windows you have selected as Windows 7 in that previous.
sorry, sir. Yes, sir. Okay,
That.
my action. Yeah,
So
sorry.
you
Actually,
didn't get the proper screenshot, or
sorry, sir.
you didn't take the proper screenshot, or because if you are installing, you should not select Windows 7, right? Here.
Yes, sir. I forgot, sir. I didn't
Okay,
see.
so you installed with that version as Windows 7.
My computer, Windows 10 is in my computer.
Okay, but
Okay, I just now I see this.
okay. Continue with
Okay,
your
okay,
presentation.
okay. Here, the another dialog box shows the memory size. I choose to 2 GB. Okay, set memory size. I just took 2 GB. Then click next. Here create a virtual hard disk now, then create, then VDI virtual box data image I chose.
Disk image, right?
Yes, then next. Another option, there's a two option, dynamically allocated, fixed size. I choose to dynamically allocated.
Right.
Then it asked
What is
hard
the
disk.
difference between those two types, dynamic and fixed?
uh, Dynamically mean mm, sorry sir, I forgot.
Sorry.
uh, we can set the disk size.
Yeah. What is the difference between dynamically allocated and fixed size?
Fixed size is already fixed from the system. Dynamically we can adjust. That's a thing.
Right. So actually, fixed size means your virtual disk file size will be the selected. If you select 30 GB, that file size will be reserved for 30
30 GB.
GB. Right.
Okay,
Dynamically
dynamically mean we
allocated
can
means
change.
not change.
Okay.
Actually, dynamically allocated means your file size will grow as you fill files. Right. It will not be 30 GB. It
Okay.
will be less than 30 GB. The file size in your. If
Okay,
you
sir.
check the size in
Mhm.
the my computer or whatever, right? The
Okay, sir.
size will be less than 30 GB, and then when install or put files, the size will grow until the what you have selected. The maximum it can go is if you are selecting 30 GB for your virtual hard disk, that is the maximum it can go, right? So so the file size will grow eventually if you select dynamically allocated, right? If you select fixed size, that hard disk size, let's say 30 GB, then it will be a 30 GB file in your hard disk, right? So if you don't have that much space, you can use dynamically allocated. But if you have a lot of space, then you can allocate the pre-allocate the size of your hard disk so that the size is already reserved, right? So then you don't have to worry. Now dynamically allocated, the problem is if you copy other files to your hard disk and it gets filled up, right? Then this might not be able to expand to 30 GB if there is no free space. So that is the disadvantage there, right? So if you
Okay,
put
sir.
fixed size, 30 GB already allocated, so you don't have to worry. It can fill 30 GB. You can't put other files, so that this will not be used, right? So those are the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so these basic things you should know. Then it will be easy for you, right, when you are
Okay.
using this tool, right?
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, next I choose 32 GB. Here set virtual hard disk capacity. Then I clicked create. Can you hear, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, here in left side you can see our selected server 2012 R2 software is here, and I click this one, and there's a general, there's option. Here in general the name is server 2012 R2.
Right.
Okay. Then I
Windows
select.
7, right?
Sorry, sir.
The version you have selected as Windows 7, right? You didn't see that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's no I see there.
Okay, okay, continue.
Okay. Okay, here in system, the another option is system. Here the RAM, and I selected those things. Enable, sorry, enable EFI special hardware clock UTC time, and enable IO Epic, and select OK. In storage, in left side, I indicate storage. Then click empty. There's another pop-up box is here. Create a virtual optical disk.
Right,
I selected, and here the Windows box show that where our downloaded file is in, and then I
right,
choose that one and click open. Okay, here the empty, here you can see the empty is changed to our downloaded software's name.
right, yes,
Okay, then here our VM VirtualBox is ready to install. Here click start. It will start automatically to install.
right,
Okay, first here you can see in left side our server starting, this
right,
message indicating. Okay, this is a getting load file to our to install. The first window to install about our Windows server. Here I choose the language and terms, format, time format, keyboard input. I already manually is it in.
yes,
Then click next, and I click install now.
right,
There's a four option. There are command line and graphical user interface,
yes,
Windows Server Data Center. I select last one.
right,
There's four images I figures. For the fourth one is I click the acceptance terms license, and fifth
right,
one is there's a two option: updated installer Windows and keep file setting in application. This is existing OS. This is not good to install. We have to install in fresh installation. That's why I choose custom install Windows only.
right,
There's another pop-up Windows is show figure 6. Already I recorded 32 GB disk space. That I didn't. We can create another partition, but I didn't do that. I click next, and our installation progress is ongoing. Okay, after the install, it will take I think 6 seconds or something. It will
Right.
another first after the installation we need to uh, set password. Here I faced a problem. I set password for 12345 something. It
Right.
didn't take. It told me that to enter special character with password. I
Yes.
chose mostly at 123. Then after it will take. Took here three images I inserted. For startup message. Press Control L delete to sign in. Here I faced a problem.
Right.
I typed in my machine's keyboard. It will restart. All machines are restart. Another message. So I opened in esxi option and open on screen keyboard. Then I typed Control Alt Delete. Then I got administration page.
Okay.
I
You use an on-screen keyboard in Windows Server, right? Server to the
yes sir.
right.
Firstly, I used my laptop keyboard. My whole laptop saw restart.
Right. Yes. Control
Then
delete you cannot use because
yes,
it will display the control delete if, of your real operating system, not the virtual one.
yes. Then after I used in virtual box on screen keyboard, open on screen keyboard
Right.
and type it. Then Windows
So
servers.
virtual keyboard also you can use, or there is an option in VirtualBox where you can send the control delete to the virtual operating system.
In this screenshot I didn't take because under the this date and time here are option and I clicked ease access and I
Right.
clicked that one and there's a top on screen keyboard.
Right.
I
So
clicked
you
that
use
one.
that option. Okay. Okay.
Okay, okay, thank you sir. This is my presentation.
Right. So right. So you logged in and okay. So any other problems
uh,
you
it,
came with when you are installing?
After the installing I opened the software. It took too much time to open sir.
Okay. You mean when you log in, it took a long time.
Yes sir.
Right. Okay. Any other problems you came with when you installing in the
uh,
VirtualBox?
no sir.
Right. Yeah. So it's fairly simple.
I want
Yeah.
to
Yes.
know something. There's
Yes.
a more question. Wait a minute. Here,
Right.
here the selection of there are three options under the USB tablet. This one. What is this, sir?
Yeah. I was wondering why you selected. So it was not selected. You selected all these three.
Yes, sir.
Why did you select those?
Uh, mm, this one shows hardware clock UTC time. I thought our system time.
Right. Usually, right. This hardware clock means the BIOS clock of your computer or laptop, right?
Okay.
The clock which is running there. So usually, it is not you. If you have your hardware clock in UTC, then that is universal time. So that means
Uh-huh.
it will not be our Sri Lankan time, right?
Mhm.
Because Sri Lanka or Asia, yeah, Sri Lanka time is 5:30 plus 5:30. So if you have UTC time in your hardware clock or BIOS clock, then if you check the time, it will not be your time. It will be minus 5:30 actually, right? Because UTC time, that is the default time. So we have plus 5:30 time zone, right? So if we set our actual time in Sri Lanka in your BIOS, right, that is plus 5:30 time. If you have UTC time in your BIOS, so then it is not the real time, right? It is UTC time means so our time is actually plus 5:30. So then UTC time will actually be minus 5:30 our real time. So that means now the time is 9:24. Let's say 9:30. So you reduce 5:30 from that, then you get the UTC time. So I think it will be around 4, right? That will be the UTC time. So there are two methods. You can have your bias clock with the actual time in your country, or UTC time. Usually, when you are installing Linux, by default, I think it will automatically change your bias clock to UTC time. Right? Windows doesn't do that. Windows usually doesn't change the bias, right? And so usually the bias time will be your country time, specific time, that is plus 5:30. So usually when you're installing Linux, you must have seen your bias clock will change to the UTC time, right? Automatically by Linux. You can change that option also in Linux, right? You can have your local time in your bias. So that is that option. So the other options actually, so this pointing device means your mouse or your touchpad, right?
Okay.
So yeah, actually you don't have to use these options, right? It will, yeah. So enable EFI, it has set their special operating systems only. So if if your touchpad is not working in the operating system, maybe you can use these options. Otherwise, you don't actually need to do this, right? At the bottom, you see it says invalid settings detected.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so maybe when you selected this, it does not match. But anyway, yeah, you don't have to actually, select these advanced options if, everything is working, right? If there is
Yes,
something,
sir.
if there's any issue with, maybe your touchpad is not, your mouse pointer is not working properly, or so things like that, you can check these additional options and see.
Okay,
Right.
sir.
So, any other questions?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, yeah, that version where you select the operating system in the beginning, I think that's just for the icon showing here in the OS, right? It's
Yes,
showing as 7 now
yes, sir.
because you selected Windows 7. So that is not a major issue. But so it's better to properly select the operating system. Then see, when you just look at this, maybe if you have this listed in the icon mode, right, without this text showing here, then you might mistake this for Windows 7 virtual
First,
machine.
selected correct one, sir. Then it took time to install. That's why I restart whole things. I forgot to change that one.
Okay, okay, yeah, no issue. I just said that it's better to have the proper one so that you can properly identify, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, okay, okay, that's okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
Okay.
Right. The very first step when you log in, that network message that you are getting, right? It's asking if you want to enable file sharing and so on. So, yeah, that step. So, actually, if you now, let's say you are in a local network or LAN, right? So, then you should actually select yes here, then actually it will be easy to communicate with the local computers, right? So usually what this will actually do is, in the network profile it will select this as a private network, right? That means, so if you select no here, then what will happen is, your network will be selected as a public network. Then if you want to share files and things like that, it will be a bit difficult because usually public network is used for public IPs, right? If you are having a public IP, right, which can be seen by everyone in the internet, then you have to actually use the public profile because you have to have the full kind of security available for your computer, right? So, uh, yeah, so in Windows 10, you usually, even if you select connect to a Wi-Fi, or maybe you are connecting a cable to your computer or laptop, you will see this the very first time, right? So the yes and no here is yes. If you select here, it will be your network will be in private mode, right? That means you are connected to local network, and sharing and things like that will be easy in your network, right? So if you select no here, then it will be configured as a public profile, right? Then sharing and things like that will be a bit difficult if you are in the public, using the public profile, right? Because additional security will be added, like firewall and things like that, right? Okay, so just explain this if uh, you don't know what this is, right? Right. So any problems you came up when you are installing this virtual machine? Right. So others all went smoothly, right? No issues. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it seems okay. Right. Yeah. So you can stop sharing. And your what is your index number? 22. 22, right? Okay. Okay. Who wants to go next?
So shall I do next?
Okay. Who is this?
So can you hear me?
Right. Right. I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So can you
Yes, I can.
see my screen probably?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Okay.
I can type.
Okay, my name is Tenil Prabha, and this is the assignment number 1 for network administration module.
Right.
So I'm going to tell you how to install Windows Server 2012. So before the installation process, we have to download iOS or image file from official website. I mentioned this official website in the Microsoft. So please do not download from any other website because it may be great. So, and for installation process, I'm using virtualization technology, and I use Oracle hosted hypervisor to install the operating system.
Yes. One thing I want to add is, yes, you are correct. When we are downloading, I have mentioned this also. You have to download from the official site always, because you can get viruses and things like that if you are downloading from other sites, right? This even the Windows setup ISO file. If you are downloading from some other site, they might contain viruses, or we don't know what they can right? So if you yeah, pirate versions also. So those will definitely have viruses. So if you are installing in your computer, you might get. So we don't know what kind of thing things they have. So you might get ransomware, or a lot of problems. So always go for the official sites. Okay, continue.
Okay. The Microsoft official site mentioned this is the uh, requirement for installation Windows Server 2012. It's not support 32-bit operating system. 32-bit CPU. It supports only 64-bit processors, and RAM. They are mentioning minimum 2 GB, but Microsoft recommend 8 GB of memory, and they are saying 60 GB of uh, operating system. But in my case, I use 30 GB of hard disk. So I didn't put any screenshot how to create the virtual machine, but this is my virtual machine configuration. In this screenshot, say base memory is 2 GB, but during installation process, my computer was stuck. Therefore, I reduced my memory for this virtual machine as 1 GB. So,
what is your
but Microsoft say yes.
What is the RAM in your computer? 4 GB?
4 GB.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, then yeah, definitely it will be slow.
Yes. But Microsoft recommended minimum size is 2 GB. But I installed it from 1 GB, and hard disk was I used 30 GB. And
So you are saying
after the
recommended?
boot
Yeah.
up computer.
Yes. Can you hear
Yes, sir,
me?
yes.
Now you said recommended. That is that the
Yes, sir.
minimum amount 2 GB, or is that the recommended?
Yes, sir. Microsoft Office. Yes, Microsoft official website said minimum recommended RAM is 2 GB, but I used 1 GB for my machine. This is the official website saying.
Okay, official website. Right. Okay.
And this is the first window when you are installation in Windows Server 2012. This is asking what is the language you are installation, what is the time, and time format and keyboard input method. I didn't change keyboard input method and language settings, and I put the next. It will open this like window.
Right.
And when you are when you are click installation now, it will be start. But if you have already installed Windows Server 2012, sometime you may face some problem and operating system will be crashed. Then computer will not start. Then we can use repair your computer. But
Yes.
but thing is, if you are faced from virus attack, virus threats like this repair mode not delete the virus thread. It's only create and repair Windows file which was deleted or crashed. That's the thing. But now I'm installed with clean installation method. Therefore, I click installation install now. So after that, you can see this is the 4 type of method in Windows Server 2012. In I down 4 type, you can click one by one, and you can see what is the say in brief description. So I choose data center with GUI for method, because I didn't have experience about command line interfaces. Therefore, this is my first time. Therefore, I use GUI. So, and I click next. It's asking license and agreement. So if we use Microsoft operating system, they are asking fill the accept the this is agreement.
Yes.
If we do not accept this agreement, they are don't provide their product to us. So we do need tick this license accept, and we have to put next. And in this window, asking about what do you want type of installation. In this update mode, as I mentioned before, if you want to not installation as clear mode, a clear installation, we can choose this. If we install as the example, if we install Windows Server 2008, we can update using this method. But I'm using clean installation, therefore I chose custom install. This is selected because when I take this screenshot, it's only take this window. When I click the second method, it's automatically go to the this window.
Right? Yes.
And in this window, you can create partitions, and using new partition, and then you can format this partition. If you are already installed anything, you can format, and you can extend it, delete, like you can do that. but in my case, this is my first time. Therefore, I didn't change anything. I click next. It was automatically created participation for installation meet.
Installation of Windows, yes.
Yes. Then setup will start, and this was sometime it was rebooted. In this screenshot, it's not mentioned, but uh, uh, top of this window, it's saying sometime maybe rebooted when your installation. So after the finishing, it's asking administrative password. In the first time, I used 123 at to the my password. It's saying your password not strong password. So that means Windows, Microsoft Windows saying you have to use a strong password for your computer and administrative account. In this case,
Especially Windows Server, yes.
Yes. In this case, I faced my accidentally keyboard is not work. Then I click this icon and I take on screen keyboard. Then I put this password. And you can also do, but I didn't remember. Uh, yes, I did remember. So you can click this icon and you can turn on screen keyboard and you can put password for this. And next, finish the after creating the password, you have to click finish button, and it's saying finalizing your setting. But in my case, I didn't receive this screen. So I
Yes, your sound is breaking.
take this from Microsoft official. So after that,
Your sound, I couldn't hear for some time. This last.
Restart one time and get to this screen. Now it's okay.
Yeah, no,
Is it okay?
yeah, I can hear you.
In my case, I didn't receive this screen, but Microsoft guide say sometime maybe you received this screen, but in my case, I didn't receive this screen, and it's automatically went to this screen. So, as I mentioned before, this is also have this icon, and you can click this icon and turn on screen keyboard, and you can click power off, log off. You can do with click this icon, and in my case, I did it from my mouse because my keyboard was not working, and
I can't hear you.
Put CTR or delete key together from on screen keyboard. It's asked. Now,
Yes, Daniel, it seems I cannot hear you now.
it's okay, sir.
Right now, okay.
Is it okay, sir?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yes, again, I think I cannot hear you.
So now,
right,
okay.
Right, I can hear now.
And it's automatically
Yes, I think he disconnected, right? Right. So let's see if we can get him back. I think he was the last part of his presentation. Right, he's back now. Right. So, yeah. Until he comes, let me tell you one thing. Now, when you're showing this presentation, it's better if you can, remove the animation parts. Then I think it will be easy.
Hello,
So,
sir. Sir,
yes,
can you hear me now?
yes, I can hear you now.
Sorry for I have signal issues.
Yes, the presentations, I was telling the others also, if you have, these animated features of your presentation, then, it will become a bit slow, right? Through the network, it will, work like a video. So, yeah, you don't have to put any animated features in the slides also, right? Those fading or whatever. Just put the slide and then I think it should be okay.
Okay, sir. Then I will didn't share with full screen. Then I can.
Yeah, I think this mode is better. Yes.
I stop from this.
Yes.
Okay, sir. In my case, I didn't face this screen because I don't know why, but I got this screen shot from Microsoft official guide. So they are saying it will take until the setup is finished completely.
Yeah,
So
if your setup finished quickly, then you might not see this. It will
yes.
go to
So
your login screen.
after this screen, I directly faced to this screen. So and as I mentioned before, my keyboard not work accidentally. Then I click this icon and turn on screen keyboard, and I put CTRL or delete keys together, and it's asked my administrator password. So I put my administrator password, which I already gave to the
Installation.
installation. So after that, I received this desktop environment. It's automatically turned on server manager, but I did close because I wanted to show this is the license expiration date, because I used to trial version uh, in the data center version. So
Version, yes.
however, Windows official site say we cannot buy through official site Windows data center solution, because they are mentioning we have to buy with product vendor in Sri Lanka or our country.
You mean data center version?
Yes, the data center version. Other version we can buy. Data center version we cannot buy. So data center version, they are saying unlimited client can access, but unlimited mean they are saying 75,000.
Right.
It's
So
75,000.
I explained this in the beginning also when I started servers. So actually this is going in the volume license category, right? So you have to, volume license means you have to purchase a set of licenses, not one license. So that is why this data center is a volume based license it has, not a single user based license. So that is why actually, so we can't, so we won't be buying 10 or 20 or like that, right? Then either it has to be some kind of organization or yeah, maybe a university. So yeah, so that's the thing. Yes, you are correct.
Yes. After that, this is the desktop screen, and we can click this server manager icon. We can turn on server manager, and we can click PowerShell icon, and we can turn on PowerShell icon. And we, in this my case, when I turn on, I didn't choose my power off button. Then I put CTRL or deal, and again I got task manager and I did power off, because I didn't see accidentally in my power off button. Then Thank you. This is my presentation.
Okay, right. Thank you, Dennis, for the presentation. Shall we take a break now and then come back in 15 minutes?
Hello.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, yes.
I'm not share the presentation. No, I'm.
Yeah, so we will take a break now, then come back in 15 minutes, right?
Okay, 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 sir.
Okay,
Sir,
right.
excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I'm Mufli. Here power cut, sir. That's why I left in my computer. I'm using mobile phone. I did my presentation already. My battery charge is draining, sir. Can I put my index number
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
for attendance?
Right, right. Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Can I see my?
Yes, I can see your screen. Yes, you can start.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about how to installing Windows Server 2012 R2. I am J. Vinushan. The minimum requirements of Windows Server 2012 R2 is 1.4 gigahertz. It should recommend a 64-bit processor and 512 RAM, 32 GB hard disk.
Right.
This is the VM VirtualBox Manager. First, we need to click New, and after we can see the virtual machine box like this. Then we will need to name put the name correctly, and the machine folder location is second one. I choose C user, virtual box VMS, and the
Yes.
type is Microsoft Windows, version Windows 2012 64-bit, and I
Right.
click next. Here the memory size, I have 8 GB RAM, so I choose the recommend size 2 GB. Then
Right.
I click the next. After that, I following those hard disk, choose create a virtual hard disk now, and choose a VDI and click next.
Right.
I click dynamically allotted and next. Here hard disk recommending 32 GB, but I have SSD 1 to 8 GB,
Right.
and free also 15 GB. Then I choose just 10 GB because
Okay.
I haven't free space. Then I create. After that, I start here. Then we can see this dialog box. Select startup disk. Then I click this icon and choose my ISO file.
Right.
After choose and start, it will boot loading file. We can see like this.
Yes.
And after loading, here we need to choose our language and time currency and format and keyboard method.
Right.
After choose we next, and server 2000 setup, click we can click install. Then we'll go to the next step. If we have already have a operating system but it will not work, then we can choose repair your computer, and we can sometime boot up.
Right.
After click next, there are 4 operating system options. I choose fourth one, data center GUI, and then I click the next.
Right.
After that, I click the accept license terms, Microsoft Office agreements. If we can't go to the next step without click here, then I click next. Here, 2 options, upgrade and custom. If we have already older version, we need when we need to upgrade into the new version, we need to click upgrade. If we want to install custom, then we'll click the second option, custom Windows only. Then I click the new button and create a partition from this new, and I will choose here. We can choose here size. What's the size we want to create? I'll choose 10.7 GB. Then I apply. After that, we can see here system memory also here. System reserved 350 MB. And then our partition 10.3.
Yeah, 1 minute. You said you selected 7 GB. What was that? 7 GB for the partition size.
Sorry, sir.
You said you selected 7 GB for the partition. What is that?
I choose 10 GB, sir.
Okay, okay. So then when you click new, it automatically creates that, right?
I may click new, then I will click apply. Then
Right,
it
okay.
will create with system memory.
Yes,
System
okay.
memory is 350 MB.
So since you are using less than recommended, you see a warning at the bottom.
Yes, yes, because I haven't memory 128 GB SSD hard only I have.
Right, okay.
The warnings here. Then I click the next. There are copying Windows files started. It will take 10 or 15 minutes with your machine requirements. After that, we'll see this like this and getting ready. After rebooting, we need to type administrator password. If we type 1235 like this, we can't go to the next step because the admin password need too strong. Then I type here Winution 95. After that, I will click the finish. Then we will see this screen. If we want to go to the admin login screen, we need to press Control Alt Delete to sign in. My laptop keyboard is not working. That's why I going here and take a on screen and click Control Alt Delete. After that, we can see this one. I'll enter my password after rebooting.
Yes, 1 minute. Now that control delete, the reason it's not working is control delete. If you press that in your keyboard, it will actually go to your real operating system, right? Not the
Yes.
virtual one. So
Yes.
that is why here in VirtualBox, there is a separate, in the menu also, there is an option to send control delete. So that also you can do from the VirtualBox menu, right? Or you can use the screen board on-screen keyboard. So that option is also possible.
Okay. After enter my password, then I can see this. This is the desktop of Windows Server 2012 R2. After click Server Manager, we can see this box and we will manage our settings. Then we can do shutdown like this. Thank you.
Okay. So any problems that came up when you install in the virtual machine?
No. I faced a storage problem only. After that, I clear and I put 10 GB.
Right. No
Storage
other
only is my
problems.
problem.
No other problems. Right. Right. So do you have any questions
No, sir.
you want to ask regarding this installation?
No, sir, I don't.
Right. So yeah. So you're familiar with everything, right? No issues. Okay. Then thank you very much. You can
Thank you, sir.
stop sharing. So you're 10, right? Your index number is 10.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. Who's next?
Answer. Hello.
Yes.
And tell me about the assignment for the Windows 2020 R2 installation,
Right.
system administration. This is my index number and name.
Okay.
Next one is set suitable system to install. Download Oracle VMware box software,
Okay.
and then download Windows Server 2012 R2.
Right. The ISO file, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
This is a downloaded website.
Okay.
I am download 64-bit.
Right. Okay.
Then downloading process is this.
Okay.
Next, I am go to the virtual box and partition the my partition 25 GB. That is not screenshotted. This is screenshot.
Okay. So you selected 25 GB for your partition.
Yes.
Okay.
Then RAM is 2 GB partition.
Okay.
Then start the booting file, installation file loading. Uh, then next, selecting languages and selecting English, United States language.
So how do you boot from this ISO? Did you properly put the settings?
Yes, yes. The settings to go to the settings and empty and CD drive to select my file to select it. That is not a screenshot. Sir.
Right. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. Continue.
Next, select the languages and next installation process.
Okay.
I am install button click. Then next, I selected the Windows Server 2020 R2 standard evaluation server GUI. Select next.
Okay.
This is for license processing. I accepted.
Right. Okay.
Next. This is processing to the installation.
Okay.
Next, settings. I will strong password created and initialize,
Yes.
and this is finishing that. Now is going to. I am not. My keyboard is not working, so I will select that in that features
Yes. Sense and
to
audio. That is how you do it.
go to and password typing the password and go to the server management. Open automatically server management open.
Yes. When you log in, automatically happens.
Okay. That server management. Then this is my uh, Windows Server properties, partition, and
Right.
also
Yes.
then I shut down my. That's also
Okay. So any problems you came up when you are installing this in the virtual machine?
yes, sir. The partition is error.
Partition size.
Yes, yes.
How much? What is the size of your hard disk?
Hard disk 1 TB, sir, but that error, some error coming to
So you selected what is the size of your virtual hard disk? You selected
25 GB.
25 GB. Okay, right. So you had not put the screenshots related to those, right?
Okay.
Where you selected the hard disk and the options, dynamic or fixed.
Yes, yes.
Right. So why didn't you put the screenshots?
That time is loading my laptop.
Okay, so because it's low.
Oh, yes,
Okay, so any questions you want to ask about this installing in the virtual machine or about Windows Server installation?
no, sir.
No. Okay. Okay, then you can stop sharing your screen. Thank you.
Um,
So you're 05, right? Your index number.
yes, sir. Mm,
Okay, you can stop sharing your screen. Okay, who's next?
Can I share my screen?
Right, okay. Hamza,
Yes, sir.
you are index number 90.
I Can you see my
Yes,
screen?
yes, I can see your screen.
Good morning. My name is Hamza. I'm going to present how I installed Windows Server 2 R 2012 R2 server on my Oracle VirtualBox.
Okay,
Okay. First of all, we need to download the ISO file from the official site, and here you can see the minimum system requirements for the installation of R2 server, the 2012 R2 server. We need 1.4 gigahertz of processor and 512 GB of RAM, and minimum hard disk storage, 32 GB of minimum hard disk space for the
okay,
installation. First of all, we need to create a virtual machine for the installation.
right,
So here we have to, here is the interface of the Oracle VirtualBox Manager.
right.
On the top, there is a new button. We need to click that to create a new virtual machine. After we click new button, the create virtual machine window will appear. Here we have to put a name, and we need to select the type of operating system we are going to install and the version. After creating next, we have to give the memory size for the OS. I
Right.
give 2 GB RAM and create.
So your computer has 6 GB RAM.
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
have 6 GB RAM. Then I click next. Here we have to create a virtual hard disk uh, for our operating system. I select virtual disk image file. Then I click the dynamically allocated uh,
Right.
allocated
Okay.
hard disk. Then I gave the hard disk space of 50 GB.
Mm-hmm.
Then create. I create the virtual machine. Here you can see the the whole thing. I gave the RAM amount, the hard disk, and the name, then other things. Then
Okay.
I click start the virtual machine. After click the start virtual machine, we have to select the ISO image file from this drop down menu. Then I click start. After starting, the first window will look like this. In this window, we have to select the language and the keyboard type, the time, uh, and
Okay.
click next. Then we can install the operating system by clicking install now, or if we have already installed or corrupted our server, we can repair the computer using this prepare your system by clicking prepare your system computer. Uh, I am going to I did the clean installation of Windows Server, so I click install now.
Okay.
After this the setup is started, then we will show, we will we will get this window. We can there are a lot of editions. I select the data center edition with the graphical user interface.
Right.
Uh, then uh, this is the license agreement. We can go through this and select accept the license agreement. In order to continue, we must accept the agreement. Then I accept the agreement and it's next. In this window, we can if we have already have installed server Microsoft Server before, we can upgrade it, or we can install clean ISO using this custom install only. That was the second option. After clicking this, we can see here the virtual hard disk which we created while creating the virtual machine. Uh, then I click next. Then setup will copy the Windows necessary files into our hard disk and install the OS.
Right.
Then it will restart the virtual machine. It will reboot several times. Then it will show our user account creation window. By default, there is administrator account. It will we have to create a password for the administrator account.
Yes.
When we create the password, we should include capital letters, simple letters, numbers, and symbols to create a strong password. Otherwise, it will show the message.
It will give an error, right?
So, yes, sir. Then after giving the password, we can finish the setup. After that, this window will appear. To continue, we have to pick up. We want to press Control or Delete, but we if we press the keyboard Control or Delete, uh, it will show our host machine task manager and other things.
Yes.
So I click the quick access menu and uh, on uh, on the screen keyboard, I click the Control or Delete. Then in here we have to we have we want to give the password which we uh, gave which we gave while creating the administrator account. Then it continue. After that, this is the window will appear after continuing the setup.
Yes. When you log in.
Yeah, after login. Thank you.
Okay. So any problems, you, any issues that came up when you installed in the virtual machine?
No, sir, that the control or delete option only the problem.
Okay.
I use.
So yes. So yeah, one option is you can get the on-screen keyboard, or there is another option in the input menu of your virtual box. If you see in the top, I think yes, in the input menu, you can actually there is an option to send control or delete to the virtual operating system, right?
Okay, sir.
So you can either use that menu option to send control or delete to the virtual operating system, or there's a shortcut also. Usually, it's the host key plus delete. So host key means there is a separate host key which is assigned to the virtual machine from VirtualBox, right? So the default in VirtualBox, it's the right control key, right? We have two control keys. The right control key is the usually the default host key. So usually right control and then delete. If you press those two, also you can get send the control delete to the virtual OS. That option is also there, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. Any questions you want to ask about the setup, this process, about installing in the virtual machine?
No, sir.
Okay. So, right. So that means you are clear with the installation, right? So now you know how to install this properly in clean installation.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. You can stop sharing.
Thank you, sir.
So 19. Right. Who's going to go next?
I'll do, sir.
Okay. 29.
Can you visible my
Yes.
slides?
Yes. I can see your screen. You can start.
Good morning, all of you. My name is Nimesh Nishankar. Mm, I hope present about Windows Server installation process. Mm, we move the next first slide. Mm, in- uh, First, we must create a virtual machine. Therefore, I used create for virtual machine the Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager.
Right.
I already created a virtual machine. After I installed ISO file the virtual machine. I installation of Windows Server 2012 R2 version. Minimum requirements for installation for this server OS 1.4 gigahertz and 64-bit processor and 512 MB RAM and 32 GB hard disk. First, I click the start icon, and after select the my ISO file in click this. After select and choose it. After click the start and for the installation process. After I insert the select the language language this and
Okay.
click next. After I click the install now, and after I select operating system for install.
Right.
After I click next, and I accept the license terms for installation. We may click the accept for the go to next step.
Yes.
After I select custom installation, because I install the free version. After already before I created drive, and we can create another partition,
Right.
uh, but I don't create another partition and click next.
Right. So there are actually no partitions there, right? So it will automatically create.
Okay, sir. After this is installing Windows, after I set password for administrator, and after for the sign in, use my uh, screen on keyboard and control or delete button press and sign in. After
So how
input
did you press Control Alt Delete?
uh, this input menu, and I get on screen keyboard.
Okay, right, on screen keyboard, right. So there's
After,
another option also to send in the input menu to send Control Alt Delete, right?
okay, sir. After I input the before I set password. mm, After opening the server manage, and uh, after we can configure and manage the server manager.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so any problems you faced when you install this virtual OS in the virtual machine?
No, sir. One issues for only my keyboard not works because after I use on screen keyboard.
Right, right. It's not the keyboard does not work. It's you cannot send Control or Delete to the virtual machine in the virtual box. That's the only issue. Because in Windows, they have made that Control or Delete key combination to go to only the Windows original one, right? The real one. So any virtual machines, uh, it will not go to the virtual machines, right? Because they have put it because if the Windows is stuck for some reason, then you can press Control Delete and get the recovery options. That is why they have uh, used that key combination for Windows. So it cannot be given to other applications or whatever. That is why it's not working in other applications or virtual machines. So you have to select some other kind of option. So yeah, one thing is the on-screen keyboard, and the other one is in the virtual box in the input menu. You see a menu option to send directly Control Delete to the virtual OS. That option is there, right?
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Can you show me the slides, the first slides where you create your virtual machine? Okay. Yeah. The next slide. So you have not showed how you are creating the size of the virtual hard disk and those screenshots, right?
Yes, I install process on.
Right. Okay. Okay. Then thank you. So you are 29 index number, right? Yeah. You can stop sharing.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I am Dinesh Kumar. Today I am going to talk about Windows Server 2012 R2 installation process. First install, we can see minimum requirement for the install Windows Server 2012 R2 version. It is 1.4 gigahertz 64-bit processor and 512 MB RAM and 32 GB hard disks. Now we can how to install Windows Server. First we go to new option and create virtual machine.
All right.
This we give our machine name and type and version. Go to next. This window we can select our memory size. Windows Server minimum memory size 512 MB. Now I am select 115 and 44 MB because my processor is 4 GB RAM.
Okay.
This window we are select hard disk type. We select create virtual hard disk now. Go to create. This window hard disk file type we select virtual disk image and click next.
Yes. When you select that VirtualBox image, then you won't be able to use this image on any other virtual machine software, right? Only on this VirtualBox.
Yes. This window you can see how our memory size, minimum memory size Windows Server installation 32 GB, but I mention 20 GB.
So you have a 2 TB hard disk.
No, sir, 100 GB.
Sorry?
1000 GB.
1 TB.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
20 GB and create this window.
So no, I asked because that maximum amount was shown as 2 TB in your
2
screenshot.
TB. No, sir. 32 GB.
No, I mean this size maximum capacity this shows as 2 TB. That is why I asked you if you have a 2 TB hard disk. Your hard disk size is 1 TB, right? Not 2 TB.
Yes, sir. 1 TB.
Okay, right. Okay, continue.
Create this window. We can start our virtual machine. This window we are go to that section and browse our ISO image file
Right.
and choose.
Okay.
Choose, after the you can see Windows Server window, time and currency format, keyboard to input method,
Right.
and click next. This window the install or repair your computer. We select install now because this is first installation and clean installation. We select install now. This operating system type we select Windows Server 2012 R2 data center evaluation with GUI because my first experience in installation Windows Server 2012 and click next.
So you haven't taken the proper screenshot, right? It should be selected the last one in your screenshot. So there are four versions, but the selected one in your screenshot is the first one.
Yes, but I select 4.
Right. Then, so when you're putting the screenshot, then you should put the screenshot with the selected correct one, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, you can continue.
Select Windows Server 2012 R2 data center evaluation with GUI and click next. This window we are seeing their license agreement. We are accept this license agreement because we are not conduct the installation process. Never the accept and click accept and go next.
Right. Okay.
This window we can select custom install
Right.
and go to next. This installation process. This process can give time 10 or 20 minutes. Mm. After the process, we start our server machine. After the drive allocation window, this window is I am downloaded for internet because I am forgotten to take this screenshot.
Why does this show 127 GB? What is the virtual image, virtual hard disk size you selected?
20 GB. So
Okay.
this is I'm download for the internet because I am download process. I am forgotten to take screenshot.
Okay. 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 Right. Yeah. So make sure to get the screenshots properly when you are installing, right? Okay. Okay. Continue.
Okay. Mm. After the install and ready our server machine. Uh, After the we can see username, administration, and take a strong password. Uh,
Right. Okay.
and click finish. After the finish, we can see this window. Uh, I can't access my keyboard. I am select clock icon and go to on-screen keyboard and press Control Alt Delete. Uh, then I type my password, then login.
Right.
After the login, you can see this window.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So any problems you faced when you installing this?
No,
No problem.
no.
So you are okay with all the steps. You have any questions you want to ask about the installation or about
No,
server
sir. All
installation?
okay.
Right. So you are then familiar with installation and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then thank you. You can stop sharing.
Thank you,
Your
sir.
index number is 28.
28.
Okay, who's next? I will
So
just
I'm
Hasita. Oh, there are two people. Yeah, one of you can. Okay, Hasika, you go on. 27.
27.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Can you able to?
Yes, I can see your screen. If you are using the presentation, if you are going to the presentation or slide mode, it's better not to have animations. Otherwise, the connection will become slow and right. Okay, you can start.
Good morning, all of you. My name is Oscar. I'm going to explain how to install Windows Server 2012 R2.
Okay.
First, let's see what are the system requirements for installing this OS. Single 2 gigahertz 64-bit processor and 2 GB RAM. But Microsoft recommended 8 GB, 32 GB hard disk space in your hard. This is the minimum requirement. Uh, Using this link, you can download this ISO file.
Evaluation version. Yes.
After downloading the ISO file, create a virtual machine with Oracle VirtualBox.
Right.
You can download this link to Oracle VirtualBox.
Okay.
After you install Oracle VirtualBox, you can see like this window. You select new. You can see like this. This set you virtual machine name, and you can select the path where you want to create virtual machine.
Right.
And select your type and select your version and click next. And this is the memory size. My memory is 4 GB.
Right.
I selected 2 GB memory for my virtual machine.
Okay. So wasn't it slow when you selected 2 GB?
Sorry, sir?
Didn't it go slow when you selected 2 GB? It was okay.
Okay, sir. No, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay, you can continue.
And I click next. And after you can see like this window, and I select this method and click create. After you can see this, I select the VDI VirtualBox disk image.
Okay.
And click next. There is a two option. I selected dynamical allocated.
Right.
And I click next. And this is the file. Okay, this is the create the virtual hard disk and set size. I selected 40 GB for my hard disk, and I click create. After we can see like this image icon, and select it and go setting and go storage, and we can select our ISO file like this button, and select uh, this button select our ISO file and click OK. And then we can click the start button. Then installation wizard will have been started. We can select language and time and keyboard method, and we can click next button. You will be able to see this one after the file are loaded, and click install now. There is a for type for method. I selected last one, Windows Server 2012 Data Center Evolution version.
GUI.
GUI version. I click next. This is the Windows license terms. I must accepted this license and hit this box and click next. And this is the there is a two option. Already we have Windows operating system. We can use this method, but I can't. I don't have Windows OS. I click this method. Click custom install. After the following screen will appear. This is the driver option. You can create a new partition or delete partition and format partition. I select unallocated space. I click next.
Okay.
Let's wait until this process finish during time. Then server will reboot automatically. This is the installation Windows process.
Right.
After we can see like this window. We can set the password for administrator account.
Right.
And click finish button. And once all is done, you have completed the installation process, and the following screen will be appeared. Thank you.
Right. So how did you log into the server?
I use Control or Delete.
So how did you press Control or Delete?
I go to Input and using soft keyboard.
On-screen keyboard.
Oh yes.
Right. Right. So the other option is you can in the input menu there's option to directly send Control Delete. Right.
Okay.
Okay. So any problems which happen when you are installing the virtual OS? Any problems you came up with?
No, sir. No.
Okay. Any questions you want to ask about how to install?
No, sir.
Okay. So then the method is clear. Everything is clear, right?
Yes.
Okay. 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 Then thank you very much. You can stop sharing. Your index number is 27.
27.
Okay. Now will be Iman sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 24. Right. Okay. You can start.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Himansa Bandhara. Now I'm going to show how to install Windows Server 2012. Before we install the server, we want to download server ISO file in Microsoft website. We can download it, and after downloading the Windows ISO file, we can install this in a virtual environment. Now I'm going to install that ISO Windows Server in virtual machine. First, we want to download the virtual machine software like Oracle VirtualBox and create the new virtual machine, and we want to create a dynamical disk space and memory space, and we want to add the ISO file and boot up to installation of this server.
Okay. What is the memory you selected?
4 GB, sir.
So you have 8 GB?
Yes, sir. I have
Okay,
8 GB RAM, then I select the half of RAM.
Okay, okay.
I think
hard disk size, what is the amount you selected for the hard disk?
40 GB I select. My hard disk is 1 TB.
Okay, right.
In real server environment, I think they want to download the ISO file and they want to burn to have a DVD disk or bootable USB drive and boot up the that ISO file and can installation. Firstly, we can boot up this ISO file. We can show this screen. Then
yes, if you are using DVD or USB
no,
drive, yes, no, I mean, I'm saying then actually it's not the ISU that you boot, right? It's a bootable DVD or bootable pen drive. So here in the virtual instance, you are actually
no,
booting
I
up the
add the ISO file to virtual machine.
Yes, so
then
yeah,
install.
so in the virtual method, yeah, you are directly using the ISO file.
Yes.
The real method actually, it's not a ISO file that you are booting; it's a bootable DVD or pen drive, right? Okay.
Oh, so then they can download the ISO file and they can burn to
by using the ISO file, you can create a bootable DVD or pen drive, but you cannot directly copy to the DVD
Oh, yes, sir.
or
They
pen
have
drive
some
and then boot,
software.
right? Yes,
Some
you have
software
to
we are
use a
using.
bootable software.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In this setup, we can select the language, time currency format, and the keyboard input method, and we click next.
Okay.
And now we select the language. Now we have now two options: install now and repair your computer. If you want to, if you have some boot issue or something, we can select the repair your computer, and then you can fix troubleshoot your problem. And but now I want to install this server to machine. Then I click install now. This screen the show a lot of 4 editions in Windows Server 2012 standard versions, and and the Windows Server 2012 data center evaluation. But now I check the Windows Server 2012 data center evaluation server with GUI.
Okay.
If you are expert in this environment, you can select the co-installation. Then you can run if you know the CMD commands, and you can select that. And
you can actually first install core and then later also in the core you can install the GUI as well, right?
Okay.
That is also possible. Okay.
Okay.
But we have to know the commands.
Oh. but now I don't know the command. Then I install the GUI version, graphical user
okay.
interface. And now we want to tick the I accept the license terms to continue the installations. Now this screen, again we have a two option to up, uh, install the clearly install the Windows, and we can upgrade the Windows Server. If you want to upgrade the Windows Server version, you can select the install update option, upgrade option. As example, if you want to upgrade, you have a server 2008 to 2012, you can use this. But in this time, I want to clearly install the Windows. Then I click the custom installation Windows only. Then now this is this moment have we want to select the hard disk partition. This time we want to select this partition.
Right, so there are no partitions now.
This is only I select 40 GB one and click next.
So the partitions will be automatically created.
Okay. Now they copy the configure file and start the installations Windows Server. Then they take the several minutes to that process. After finishing the installation, we want to reboot. Then they reboot the several times. It's take several minutes. Then we want to set a strong administration password. It's going to be a strong password.
Yes.
Then we want the password and click finish. Now we came to login screen, but in this time we want to press Alt Control Delete to type the password. But this virtual environment, we can press Control Delete in our keyboard, or take a on-screen keyboard and press Alt Control Delete to login window. Then type the administrator password to login. Then prepare the Windows, and now we can manage the network Windows management. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so any problems when you are installing the virtual operating system? Any problems
No,
you
sir.
came up with? Right, everything okay. So any questions you want to ask?
සර් මේ අපි පෙන්නයක් වගේ ගැහුවොත් එහෙම මේක මේ virtual environment එක detect කරන්න මොකක් settings එක virtual මේ machine එකේ මොනවද
පුළුවන්.
settings
ඒකේ virtual machine එකේ
ගන්නද ඒක?
තියෙනවා. pen drives දාන්න තැනක් තියෙනවා. එතන select කරන්න පුළුවන්. You can actually select if you have a real CD drive or DVD drive with a DVD inside, you can select that in the virtual box as well. So then it will automatically that will work as a DVD-ROM or USB pen drive in your virtual machine, and it will boot up. That is possible.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm saying to the others also. So ISO file is easier, but even if you have a bootable DVD or pen drive, you can actually mount that to the virtual box, right? In your virtual machine, you can mount those options are there as well.
Yes.
Right. So I saw that some of you, when you are taking the screenshots, so in your screenshot, actually, it's not your selection and some other selection. So, yeah, so, so you should select the one actually what you're going to do. So think of this like a tutorial for someone, right? So when someone just reach the presentation, then it should be clear, right? So I'm just giving you some points, like, if you are asked to, give some presentation or something, then it's better if you can, properly have all the things properly, so that, then no one will able to say, okay, oh, there's these issues in your presentation, right? So most of you, I saw that you have done, but there were some, so, I don't know, maybe you have forgotten to, when you're installing, to get the proper screenshot, or maybe your system got stuck, or, but just some points to improve, right? And then, yeah, that other option where the upgrade and the custom install, right? So, yeah, so if you install actually the custom install option, yeah, I can't seem to get the image of that. Right. If you select the custom install or clean installation option, yeah, it will go to the next screen. So you will not be able to get a selection, but you can do, um, yeah, you can uh, do something like this, right? You can maybe put a red color, square or something, just to highlight that option should be selected, right? Then I think I remember one person mistakenly, when doing the presentation, said that, okay, so he selected the upgrade option. So that happened because in the slide you see the upgrade highlighted, and then, yeah, so when presenting, yeah, you might make mistakes like that. So if you highlight, you know maybe using Paint or image editor, and I think in Windows 10 there are various tools available, right? So if you maybe highlight what the selection we have to do, then it will be easy. Right. Okay. So right. Marshani has sent the PowerPoint. So yeah. So she's having network problems as well. Is that?
Sir,
Yes. Are you able to share your screen?
am I trying
Or
uh, am I trying again?
yeah. Okay. Okay. Wait. Let me stop. Okay. Right. I can see your presentation.
Okay, sir. Good morning, everybody. I'm Sandrika Marshani. I show you how to install Windows 2012 R2.
Okay.
This is first step. I'm download it.
Okay.
Select 64-bit.
Okay.
And I download it. I tried to download Google Chrome,
Okay.
but it's not working. So then I tried Microsoft Edge,
Okay.
and now it is download.
Okay.
So this is the setup, and I open my VM.
VMware. Okay.
Then this is first step. Sorry. This is first step. I select second option and click browser.
Okay. Browse.
And click this setup. After that, I click next. So this is automatically set, but I set it 30. It's
Okay.
automatically 30. Then I next click. Then this is if we can change some requirement, we can click customer button, and we can change anyone.
Right.
And I this is with this message come automatically, and I click language and other things, and next and click install now,
Okay.
and I click this fourth one, and next I agree this license, click this button and next. After that I click continue customer, the second one.
Okay.
And click next, and no, not click customer, and automatically become this one.
Okay. Right.
I'm not do it some partition, and I'm click next treatment.
You selected 30 GB for your hard disk, right?
Yes, sir.
Why is it showing 60 GB?
Because I think my machine is slow down, so I click 30.
In your screenshot, isn't it 60 GB showing there?
Yes, sir.
So earlier, did you select 60 GB then?
Yes.
Because if you selected 30 GB, then 30 GB should come here, right? Not 60 GB.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So you have selected 60 GB, right?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Okay, this is automatically installed, and finishing install, I put it new password, and it finishing this Windows can open, and I press Control and Delete only. And I put it my password.
Why did you
And
press
open
Control and Delete only? Control
this.
or Delete, you have to press.
Yes, but Control Delete එකී තුනම press කරපුවාම task manager එක
Right.
open නිසා.
So Control Delete is actually the key combination given in the virtual machine, right? The software.
Okay, sir. That's finish.
Okay. So any problems when you are installing?
සර් මං මේක අර මේ ලැප්ටොප් එකේ ටිකක් ස්ලෝ වෙන හන්දා මේ මම පොඩ්ඩක් මේ ඇෂුව එකේ try කරා මේ 10 කියවන free account එකක් create කරන්න පුළුවන්. මං හිතන්නේ මගේ එක හරි ගියා. මං චුට්ටක් එක පෙන්නන්න සර්.
Okay. So you also did this using vmware, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're saying in the Azure you were able to properly log into your server, remote desktop?
Yes, sir.
Screen එක share කරලාද?
Yes, you have not shared your screen, your browser, or have you not logged in yet?
Sir, screen ka pena sir?
I can see your presentation only. You will have to change in the share screen menu. When you share an application only, then that will be there. Your screen will not be shared.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, you should stop sharing your screen and right. Okay. So okay, so this is your okay. Right.
Am I do it again?
So right. So it seems to be working.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how is that possible? So that means there are no issues. Tenil, now it seems to be working. Maybe it's a problem with your account. I don't know. Can is this Marshan, right? Can you show me the browser where I logged in to this Azure account?
Yesterday, day after yesterday, I create free account. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you see my screen, sir?
Yeah. Now, can you sign in? I think you have signed out, or did you go back?
So I save this link. I create free account and I save it.
Right. Can you log into the account and show your virtual machine?
Okay.
You signed out, right? You have to sign.
Yes.
Go to the portal.
Azure portal.
No, okay.
So you created this when? Yesterday or day before? Wednesday.
No, sir. Yesterday.
Yes.
I tried night.
Okay. So yeah, good then if it is working. So Tenil, so it seems to be working, right? Maybe some issue with your account or license.
Yes, it's my but yeah. යාලත් එක්ක chat කරද්දි මේකද මේක ඇත්ත මම කරේ ඇත්ත මගේ organization එක use කරනවා නම් ඔයාලා කොහොමද ඔක් කරන්නේ කියලා.
ඒක තමයි. Yeah, true. Yeah, can you go to the connect setting? Yeah, so same sort of options. Yeah, so good if this works, and the others also. If you can create a free account, then yeah, shall we remote log into the server? Yes, good. So it seems to be working. Yeah, so with this option, you can maybe create 2 or 3 servers also in the cloud, right? I don't know about the credit which is available, but yeah, then things should be easy if you can use this option.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, good. So yeah, the others also can try to create a free Azure account and try to install Windows Server in one of the virtual machines. So Tenil, I think just try have another email and then connect and see. Maybe it's an issue with your account. Yeah, account meaning, maybe the one they created for you, there may be an issue. Sometimes they should be able to fix, but I don't know. Sometimes things happen. So anyway, we know it's working. So
මල්ෂානේ මේ හෝම් එකට පොඩක් යන්න.
හෝම් එකේ තමයි ඉන්නේ. Hello?
VCP resources.
yes, we can
PC
hear you.
එකක් ඇදලා තුලේ. VPC network virtual network එක හදලාද මේ හදලා තියෙන්නේ machine එක.
ඔව්.
virtual network එකට default එකකින් එනවා ඉතින්. tail virtual machine එක හදලා පොඩ්ඩක් පෙන්නන්න.
So anything additional has Marshana done, which Tenil you haven't done?
Sorry, sir.
Anything additional has Marshani done to make this work? Because even I tried, but it didn't.
මම සර් ඔය ඔතන පනලා දෙන මේ virtual network කියන එක හැදුවේ නෑ. හැබැයි මේ ඒ වුණාට සර් මේ මගේ Linux machine එකට log වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට Windows machine එකට log වෙන්න බෑ. ඒක password එක reset කරන්නත් බෑ. අර
Yeah.
යාලගේ platform එකේ වෙන දේවල් වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ. ඒකයි මේ.
Basic දේවල් තමයි වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ. ඒක තමයි. Maybe problem with yeah, I don't know. Yeah, even I tried. I created a new one and checked, and it didn't work. So yeah, there is some issue there. Right. So yeah, I think so. Almost all of you presented, except one person, right?
Am I stop sharing, sir?
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
Okay.
Okay, so right, all of you have presented except one person you said, right, who was not able to because of connection problems. Okay, so I will send you an email to the group, right? Then you can upload your this presentation to that. Right. So yeah, as I was saying, some improvements that you can have to your presentation is some of you had forgotten to take screenshots when you are doing. So it's better if you can have the screenshot in order, then it's clear, right? So yeah, the example I said was the point where you have to select whether the upgrade or the new install, right? So since there's no way for you to show the clean install method, select it, right? Because when you click, it goes to the next page. So you can edit that screenshot, maybe with some highlight like this, maybe a rectangle or round or whatever, right? Maybe red color. You must have seen, yeah, see now as this image shows you, see it's highlighted, yeah, or like this, right? So I saw, yeah, you had put, some of you had put some arrows. That's good. Which shows the, yeah, or you can put an arrow as well. So then it will be clear, right? Yeah, in this case, the next button is highlighted. So you can use those kinds of methods to improve your presentation, right? And yeah, when you are, putting these kind of screenshots, it's better to take a screenshot after you select your correct choice here, right? Then it will be more clear. And you can see these, there are various. So they have actually put a screenshot with the actual selected one, right? Then your presentation is more clear. Right. See now, if you use this kind of screenshot and you are installing the last one, so it's not actually the correct screenshot, right? Because it's not clear. Yeah. So then you have to take the screenshot actually after you select. Right. So yeah, overall the presentation was okay. Yeah. So next week, so we will do the other assignment is creating a domain server, right? Installing. So now installing the server we have done. So now adding the server or adding the role as a domain server, right? Um, that is one thing that you will have to do. So, and the options that follows, right? What are the options that are needed? Then not okay. So creating the domain server, then yeah, I will give you some kind of something to create in the Active Directory, right? Yeah. So then you can, just create the structure that I give you. So maybe you might have to create. So I showed you, right, how to group and how to create OUs and things like that. Right. So then you can create that, and then okay. So yeah, actually there is a bit left with the group policy. I will start the slide now.
So මේ ඊළඟ assignment එක කොහොම වෙයිද sir?
මොකද ඇහුන්නේ ඊළඟ assignment එක?
මේ ඊළඟ assignment එකත් මෙහෙම practical එකක්ද sir දෙන්නේ?
ඔව්. අපි මේ විදිහටම කරමු.
මොකද එක මොකක් ගැනද sir දෙන්නේ?
Yes, any issues?
Oh, sir.
Okay, so group policy. So we stopped. Yeah, so I showed you how to link these group policy objects. Wait, let me. Right, so I showed you how to. So I think you remember this, right? Yeah, so group policy management usually it's installed by default when you add as a domain control. If you don't have it, then you can separately add that feature like this, right? So you have the group policy console and the editor. So right now this is the group policy management console, right? Where you this using this you assign actually group policies to users or groups or user whatever, right? Then to separately edit the group policies, yeah. So here this group policy object will show you all the objects, group GPO objects which are available like this, right? So by default, these domain controller and domain policy are created by default, right? And some default policies are there already. You can, if you want, you can change the default policies, or if you can leave it as it is, right? Yeah. So this is so if you are creating a new group policy, yeah. So then you have to give a name. Then start a GPO if you have, then you can use. So start a GPO is it's a simple kind of GPO object which with minimal kind of group policies. So you can add additional or customize, right? So instead of starting from nothing, you have a minimal set of group policies, a template like a template, right? Then you can use the template and then change and customize. So if you don't have any starter GPOs um, applied to the group policy, then you won't see anything, right? Right. So these are the, yeah. So this is linking. So linking the already available group policies. So you have, so these are the already available group policies which are already created, right? In your group, in your Active Directory, right? So you can view all the group policies which you have created if when you go to this group policy object, when you click this folder, right? You will see all the whatever you have created. Or when you are linking, so it will also show all the objects which are available, right? So you can select what you want to link. So I told you about, yeah, how you do this. You have two ways. Let's say you created the OU called sales, and then you need to create a new group policy, right? Then you right click, then you create new GPO. Then as you create it, it will automatically be linked like this, right? The group policy object will be created under group policy objects folder. Then it will automatically be linked here. That is one method. Or you can go to the group policy objects and create a group policy, create a set of group policy objects. Then later link them to one of these OUs or users or whatever. Right. So then it will be two steps: creating the GPO, then linking the GPO. Right. So you can create and link at the same time if you directly go to where you want to create the GPO, then right click and create the new GPO, right? So then you give a name, it will, so the GPU object will be created and automatically it will be linked to your current OU. So two steps in one. Yeah, so when you link a GPU to a container, so your OU is a container, right? It contains a set of users and computers or whatever. So when you link a GPU to a container like this, so it will actually, this this sales one here will apply to this inside outside containers also, and anything that is inside, right? So everything inside the sales container or OU, right? If you go sub levels, sub OUs and objects, this group policy will apply to everything, right? Inside the sales OU, so not outside, right? So it will inherit by default to the child objects, right? So, okay, so security building used to modify the default permission so that they only certain users and computers receive the permissions for the GPU. Yeah, so you can customize. Yeah, so here you have selected one GPU, then yeah, so then you can select this group policy will apply to the following groups or users or whatever, right? You can filter also. So here authenticated users means all the users, all the whatever the types of users, they will be applied the group policy, right? So if you have separate security groups, you can actually assign each of the group policies to separate user groups, right? Let me start up my server. Yeah, so until it starts, right? Right. So here you can see there are three GPU objects, right? So yeah, okay, right. There are no. So you can have multiple GPUs in the same level, right? And then maybe one GPU will apply to one type of users or group. Then another GPU will apply to another set of users, right? But so the name you use, you have to properly give a name, right? So if you give like this, then it will be difficult for you to identify what is the purpose of that GPU, right? So you have to give the name properly so that later, right? Later on, after some months or years, right? Even so, just by looking at the name, so you should understand or remember that okay, this GPU is for this purpose, right? So when you are giving names, properly give a name so you can identify it later because so although I create this sales 1, 2, 3 now, so now I know why I have created and for what purpose, right? But later, this 1, 2, 3, I will not be able to remember what is the purpose, right, of having these separate GPUs. If I put a meaningful name, then later on also I will be able to understand why I have actually put this GPU, right? Created this GPU. So yeah, see, so here there are some meaningful names given. So inside cell settings, new group policy object. Yeah, I don't know why that is not actually a proper name, but yeah. So here this is default. You can directly identify, right? Default domain controllers policy. So that is definitely for the domain controllers. Then default domain policy is for the that is the main domain policy, right? So when we are creating for separate OUs like this, then if you have like one group policy only like this, then you don't have to just putting sales is also enough, right? But if you are having multiple GPUs in the same place in the same level, right? Now these three all will apply to actually the whatever the OUs which are inside, right? But you can do filtering and maybe some the sales one may be applying to some one group of users, sale to another group of users, right? So yeah, you have to give a proper name. Okay, let's see if my server has. Okay, it has got stuck, right? Yeah, it is still voting now, right? Okay. So how is this group policy processing happening? Okay, so uh, yeah, so you can have local policies, site policies, or domain policies, right? And then OU policies, right? These are different types of policies which apply to different types of levels, right? So site-wide policies will apply to the whole site, right? So I showed you, so we can separate sites, right? Then domain policies will definitely apply to the whole domain. That means, yeah, so earlier, yeah, so the domain here is addterm.local, right? So here you can see the default domain policy. So the domain policy will apply to that domain only. If you have another domain here saying abc.com, it will have a separate domain policy, right? So this domain policy will apply to this domain only, right? So that is policy going at the domain level. Then OU policies. So OU policies is this. This sales one is a OU policy which applies to only the sales OU currently, right? So if you want, you can use this same and link it to a different OU also. But anything which is inside the sales OU, right? This sub-level OUs, they will definitely inherit this. So you don't have to link this again to these child OUs, right? Of sales, because this sales one is definitely inherit to the child OU. So if you want to apply this sales OU to a different OU, right, which is not a child, then you can link this GPO to one of the other OUs, right? So then we call that right, OU policy. So you can understand the structure, right? So you have domain policies which apply to the whole domain. Then you have OU policies which apply to separate OUs. Right. So Windows systems receiving GPUs from multiple sources process them in a following order. Right. You know these different types of policies, right? Windows Server will do the processing. So we are talking about how the group policy is processed in the server. The order is first any local policies which are there will be applied, then site policies, then so local means local to the server, right? That is local. So I told you the difference between local and domain. Local only applies to that server, right? So domain applies to the whole domain, to all servers and whatever is inside. So site, site also. So this is in one site, right? So this domain is in one site. So we can have two or more domains in the same site. So then we call those site policies, right? So the site policies will apply to all the domains which are in the same site, right? If it is a different site, then a different site policy will be there, right? Then we have domain level policies. So yeah, you can see now first local policies will be processed, which are related to the server only, right? Then site policies, it's like going forest wide, right? So let's say you have a lot of domains inside a site. yeah, let's say this is the site, and then yeah, you have some domains in this site, right? Then maybe there's another site. So site policies will be applied first. So this is site 1. So yeah, so this has several kinds of domains. Right. So here maybe some other kind of yeah, so like that, right? So yeah, so site policies will apply to all the domains which are in the site, and then domain policies will only apply. Let's see, abc.com. The domain policy will apply to only abc.com. Then def.com. The domain policy for that will only apply to that domain, right? So separately, it will go, right? So first local policies, then site-wide policies, then domain policies, and then inside the domain we have OUs, right? So then the OU policies will apply separately to those OUs, right? Yeah, so this is the order how it happens. Okay, right. So yeah, I showed you this in my Windows server also. Here, so in sales OU, right? So you have your sales GPO object and then the default domain policy, right? So default domain policy, it's a domain level. So, right, it will apply to all of these OUs or whatever inside the domain, right? So you see here, there are two policies which are applying to this sales OU. One is the sales one which you created, right? And then the default domain policy. So the order in which these policies are applied, you can control, right? So by default, so the first group policy that will be processed will be the uh, this child level GPO, right? Or the OU policy. So we can change this order if you want, right? But so this is currently the order on which the group policy will be applied. So first this sales one policy, then the default domain policy, right? So this sales one is actually has a customized version for this OU, right? So default domain policy is a common policy which will be applied to all the OUs and all the objects in the domain, right? So that has to be a minimal level and a common set of policies which should be applied to all the objects or OUs. This sales, whatever the group policies in sales, only relates to the sales OU or group or the users which are inside, right? So yeah, so why we are renaming it, naming it sales also. So those policies should not apply to any of the other OUs, right? That is why it's named like this. If it is a common, maybe a sort of policy, so then it will be named in a different way so that so it should be applicable to all the whatever the groups or OUs or users available, right? If you are using a common policy, then you have to actually put it outside. You have to apply to the this domain level, right? Here. Yeah, so I think my server should have come up. Yeah, so any common policies which should apply to the domain. So I can create a GPO here directly, and then it will automatically link. Or if the whatever the group policy is already created, I can link it here, right? So anything you apply here to the domain level will apply to all these OUs and objects, right? Anything you apply to an OU will affect only that OU and anything which is inside, right? The child OUs and users or groups and whatever. So if yeah, so here you can see there are a lot of, I have created a lot of sub levels. So this student GPO will affect or apply to all or inherit to all these which are inside, right? And all the users. And so this student OU GPO, right, should actually be common policies to all the users, right? So because every user in every group will be applied this policy. Now, if I want to give different policies to these groups, or let's say net or these separate groups, I have to actually add a GPO at this level, right? So maybe, yeah, so I have to give a like a meaningful name, like, yeah, maybe, so net V1. So that when I see this GPO, I know that okay, this is for net V1 batch, right? So maybe some specific policies for this group. So then this will only apply to whatever the users or OUs which are inside this V1, right? Plus yeah, here, so here I can filter which users I want to apply the GPOs, right? So by default, it will apply to all the authenticated, that is all user accounts. So additionally, if I have separate groups, then I can add those groups also, right? So here, if I want to separately give, let's say, to account operators or backup operators, right? I'm applying a policy for those users only or group. Then I can select that group only, then that policy will apply to that group only, right? So a lot of customization is there. Right. So the order how it applies also, you can change like this. So right, so you can see when you go inside the OU, yeah. So actually there's a inside CL settings or GPO which is created object. So there are three actually GPOs which will apply here. You can see. So first will be the one which we create in this OU itself. So inside CL settings, it shows the location also, right? So it's here inside this inside OU. Then we have the sales one, right? Which is the parent GPO, which is applied to sales. That will apply, and then the root domain policy, which will apply to all the objects. So this order you can change if you want, but this is the default order which it applies. Yeah, so like that, you can have multiple types of GPOs, group policy objects for domain, sites, and OUs. Yeah, so prefer to create individual GPOs for, yeah. So yeah, we can customize, since we can, customization is there, we can create, these GPOs for, we can separate them for, okay, this task, for this task, we have this group policy object, then for another task, another one. So it's better to have like that, so that, we can give the correct permission to the correct level and the correct type of users. Right, right. So here, when multiple GPOs link to a single, yeah, you can control the order. So this is what I said, right? Yeah. So you can control in which order should the group policies apply. Yeah. So yeah, this is the same thing. Okay. So okay. So computer configuration settings will apply to the computers when they start up, right? Then the user configuration setting and user logon scripts that will actually apply to the user login when they log on, right? So computer configuration for the computer, it will apply the settings, and then user configuration will apply to the logon user who is logging onto the system. So there are log off scripts also. So those will run when the computer shuts down or user logs off, right? So there are computer shutdown scripts also which run during the shutdown. So user log off scripts, they work when the user logs off or when the computer shut down, right? Because when you shut down the computer, the user automatically logs off. So uh, these you can, if you want to run any application or whatever, you can do, right? So just add these scripts in the group policy, and they will work when. So startup scripts work when the computer starts. Log off scripts work when the user logs off. Shutdown scripts work when the computer is shut down, right? So right. So these settings you must have seen. Enforce. There's a setting called enforce. So it will force the GPU settings to flow down through the hierarchy. That means when you enforce, so yeah, whatever these top level GPUs will definitely apply to the child level, right? So enforcing means it will flow down to the hierarchy without being blocked by any child or use. So if you enforce some GPU, it will definitely inherit to the child objects, and the child GPUs cannot block the parent GPUs from applying, right? If this enforce is there. If enforce is not there, the child GPUs can actually change how the top level or parent GPUs work, right? Or block it. But if enforce is given, that will apply to all the child objects, and the child objects cannot change that. So if you put block policy inheritance, that will stop the policies from inheriting from the parent, right? So if you block, let's say, inheritance from this level, so the top level GPUs will not be applied by inheritance to the child object, right? If you use this block policy inherit. So that is actually, that setting is put on a container object. That means an OU or yeah, a site or domain. So it will prevent the policies from the parents from coming down to the child level, right? Yeah, we will. Okay, so we will stop for today. So next assignment I will give next Friday. Right. I will put an email. I will give the what you have to properly do also in that. So we have a bit of slides left in this group policy. So I have mainly some additional features which are there in group policy, right? So basically you know how to create and so I have shown you, right? So there are some additional customizations which can be done in this group policy. Yeah, so a few slides left. Right. Okay. So any questions you have, you can ask now.
So do we need to share today's slides?
Today's, you mean the assignment presentation?
Yes, yes.
Yes. You have to share. I will send you an email to the group, right, for the assignments. Then you can reply to that with your slides, right? Because I have to collect what you have done, your slides, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So if you don't have any questions, we can stop for the day, and we will meet next Wednesday, right? Yes. Okay. Then have a great week and stay safe.